faster, and at the same time it's reached to the equilibrium state rapidly. When it is, the rate of the reaction is in quench, is suppressed, is inhibits, then the enzymatic reactions or in bioconversions each takes place. Yeah. The next issue, that is substrate and enzyme. These both are at active site place. One can is combines E for enzyme, S for substrate. These both are combines. Then it is enzymatic product EP. It generates the same time. This cleavages, which also takes place whatever the substrate is participate or in a different hetero substrates may also make it possible. This is just like is a lock and key mechanism or else slipper and heel mechanism. The number, the size, accordingly the slippers is suitable, and at the same time the lock and key as a like of the particular grooves is setting then only. That is the biggest mechanism. Of course, at the same time the active site is also, it's not an anticipate, it's not encounter, it's ready to work out, it is acceptance reduced, then it may spit out or else is in a together. The enzymatic, the catalytic activity is which takes place. In that particular place of such particular the groove or the same ones, one is joined. Yeah, here it is. The enzymes. Some of the enzymes do not need any additional components to show the full activity. But at the same time, someone is cofactors can be is in either the inorganic cofactor or organic the compounds, flavonone or the heme containing of metals or metal of iron is takes place, and at the coenzymes, sodium adenine diphosphate, adenosine triphosphates, which all is in hydrated ions, and at the same time hydroxyl ions is stages and the water molecules like then the particular the precipitate of is releases with the water is releases, oxygen is releases, and is hydrated with the two electrons is the reduction reaction is takes place. 14 kilocalories per mole of energy is also releases of exothermic reactions. Yeah, the phosphate groups is carried by ATPs, its energy giving substances, and adenosine diphosphate of sodium containing of phosphates or adenosine dihydrates is participate in the enzymatic, coenzymatic reactions and cofactors of the metal ions. And every the molecular structure or strength of this particular the number of the EC number. The EC number is an enzymatic number in a particular nomenclature, which is mentioned as it's a glucose isomerase. In a glucose isomerase, here it is. The EC number is EC1, EC2, EC3, EC4, EC5, like accordingly of its number wise. It's mentioned here. We can identify the catalysis of oxidation and reduction is an redox reactions. This takes place in oxyredoxases, and transferases, hydrolases, liases, and isomerases, and ligases. What these all these are in a prefix as an AS. Enzymatic sound digits mentioned as ages. It's joining the two molecules. It's in a covalent bond. In isomerization, with some of the molecules, isomerases. Yeah, this isomerizing These takes place of functional isomers, functional isomers, transitional isomers, and chain isomers. These are all we can identify the number wise or as functional groups wise. And the liages is in a clean bonds. The clean bonds means in a hydrolysis or oxidation. Either it's releasing of hydroxyl or oxygen which takes place. And hydrolases. Hydrolases is in a catalysis of hydrolysis and various bonds. Also takes place in transferases in a functional group. This is transfers. Yeah. Glycolysis. This glycolysis is in glucose containing of enzymes is influenced, and at the same time catalyzes or oxidation or reduction reactions, redox reactions. Is also possible of according to its EC number. The EC number is mentioned of its containing of the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and other elements of its. It may be coenzymes or at the same time cofactors. It is inorganic or organic substance wise. A particular EC number is mentioned. Amylases. Here it is liquefaction, manufacturing of maltose. This is free from sugar, but at the same time it is a sweetener. This one is maltase. This can usage of particularly diabetic patients. Yeah, the sugar flavor like, but it is not an influence of the insulin. Is no need to this. If in case the maltase, we may use the insulin injections, but all these are no need. But this is a sweetener, and also it prevents of the sugar supplement. This sugar supplement is for diabetic patients. According to the EPA sugars, we can take. Yeah, that is the middle course. We can. They mention, they refers to that. And the lipases is the production of the carbohydrates and esters, the fatty acids, the food flavor, the makings, food additives, food colors, or edible things, the edible items of the sweets or oats or some other or any kind of things also using liquids. And cellulases is in biopolylene, biopulping. What it is? Pulp and paper means, pulp and paper means, there it is. There's a lot of the waste substance of the wood and the waste paper and the recycled one. Here these ferments, this particular enzymes can work out and good product, good yield it comes out. Especially in the high strength one of material of the cellulases, in textiles, the cellulose materials. Here these cellulases are used for the finishing fabrics or by degrading of the surface fibers to prevent the color fadings or even give jeans as in a stone washed effect or is help to the tanning of leather. Yeah, I say this one is in a photocatalytic. The reactions also may not identify the stone washed jean fans. Nowadays the technology improves nanocloths. The nanocloths surface is very smooth. It's not at all as a tolerate of the wet or else of the dry or else of the dust. This is the advanced cloths of the nano. But before, these cloths is in a jean cloths. jeans and stone washed cloths. You know about that stone wash pant, the stone wash pants and jean pants. They're free from the dust. You can use without washing of weekly once. We can, but not it is every day. We need not to wash it. Just like it's in a cotton or peri cotton or polythene, polyester thread. Yeah. This is the stone wash jean pants. You know well. I think you may wear at the age of in 10th class studies. You may stone wash jean pants. This is yeah. Now these are the surface area, just like this mukmal, like it's a smooth surface, and the tanning industry, whatever it is, it's pinched. Leather is pinched by the acid wash. You know the pinching of the galvanizing of any metals is just pinched with the particular acids. The same way of the tanning industry, the leather industries, the leather surface area, we can prepare good bags and smooth belts and other fashion items like of the covers or watch keys, belts or whatever. Yeah, so many the covering items is made up of the leather industry. In the leather industry, the smooth the leather surface. Here it is a lot of leathers, and horse leathers, camel leathers, elephant leathers is not at all used. Why? Because elephant skin is very thin skin. Yeah, the rest of the buffaloes and all these are, you know, that particular the leather is used for leather. What it is? The proof cod, that is rhino. That the rhino leather, even though it may fight out with hits with uh, knife, sharp knife, you can push it, but it's not allowed inside. So the warriors they wear the jackets of with iron chain jackets with the rhino the leather too, and or sword and doll. Yeah, fight out persons. It's mentioned. Anyhow, surface area is very smooth. Yeah, there's a lot of vibrated material of cellulose. Is very much strange one. Yeah, it's in plant. The plants also some of the particular species of the plants breeds a lot of cellulose substance. Yeah. Next, proteases, amylases, glucose isomers and glucose oxidases and renin and pectinase and lipases. So all enzymes is produced by the industries, industrial applications, industrial products. Corresponding products is its releases. Here we can redox both oxo oxo reductases. Oxo reductases. These is in corresponding applications we can identify. Is in transferases, is in hydrolysis, is liases, isomerases. Is in a lipid stain remover, and starch stain removals, and viscosity reactions, and saccharification of this particular pulp and papers or else in leather. And, the glucoses is in the fructoses conversations, yes, in a food industries, yes, the barley and all these made up of like beer factories and the protein stains removals, and all these whatnot. Everything is in particular 5 enzymes, hydrolysis, yeah, and gyreinase is in and at the same time lipases and pectinase, pectin, pectinase is in a food-based products all. And the proteases is especially in the biscuits industry and cheese industries. We may use this particular uh, industrial enzymes in a bulk quantity and its releases. And the modified viscoelectase properties is especially in transglutaminase. Transglutaminase is which is transferase enzyme. Yes, transferase. Beverages industries and textiles industries also desizing and scouring, bleach termination and bleaching, masking, like just like in this plastic light, features of rough surface is requires or smooth surface is requires, and metrination. Metrination is in a beer industry is in acetolactate and decarboxylase. These two enzymes which takes place in a lot of reaction of beer factories. Juice treatments is in beverages industries. Low calories of beers, high calories of beers, and the barley, this particular fermentation industries we may use all beverages, and the textile dyes and all as a part of the bodies, and fats and oils industry, the leather and the tanning industry. Yeah, the personal cares of this particularly, face packs and faciala. There's lipstick materials and all other coats like the beauticians. A lot of beauticians is used, and plastic surgeries. Plastic surgeries is also may use in this particular enzymatic reaction. It's a pulp and paper point of view also, especially in bleach boosting in gyrinase. The good paper, the whitish color paper, or in a dark peppers, or in a color peppers, is in a colors is added. Of course, it is in a D block elements, the color exhibiting metal ions. The D block elements is adds, of course, but that particular the cellulose is its bleach, the color required accordingly. It's a whitish, full-fledged whitish paper, or else some cellulose is based in a smooth glass paper like smooth surfaced one. It is some oil-proof oil paints. So like that particular the paper is also mentioned. Particular next, particular enzymatic products is inoculation. It is initiated by inoculate. The first inoculation before is also that particular species. After that one is isolate the consent enzyme released the bacteria or other fungus or whatever it is, isolates. Next is inoculates in the particular rotating with the shakers, funnels, that particular flask. Next is in a seed tank. Once it is inoculated, its growth is develops under microscopic conditions. The identified seed tank is again transfers. The temperatures and pressures is maintained, and next is in a fermenter. Fermenter is main action is takes place. Fermentation begins. Next enzyme the recovery. Once it is fermented, then enzyme corresponding enzyme is released. One is collectively very sensitive one. Yeah. The constituents of the enzymes is in a microorganisms is can produce the enzymes in a minimal fermentation media. Yeah. And at the same time, it can produce the enzymes is microorganisms is required adding of inducible agents in a media to produce the target engine. Yeah, is a papillase pineapple. The papillase is one of the enzyme which takes place in a pineapple. There's a lot of the fiber content. That is the reason why this pineapple juice is preferred, and the kiwi fruits is mainly here it is fibrated uh, material, and the papaya means papaya. This all these natural enzymes is in extracellular enzymes, the microorganisms, and is in secret enzymes in the fermentation. The media. The media each main role is a vehicle. uh, The enzymatic substance is in a proper time, in a proper amount it may releases. The temperatures and pH levels is always maintains, and intracellular enzymes is in a microorganisms can produce the enzyme inside of the cell. Extracellular enzymes and intracellular enzymes inside of the cell and fermentation of the meat. Yeah. Next is industrial applications. These particular all enzymes of amylases, cellulases, and pectinases, lignases, and proteinases, and lipases, insulinases. It's all is in A's is in a prefix. A semi-synthesis of antibiotics is in case of the penicillinase enzyme is the rest of all this may wash out, this may bleach out the lipages, like each and every individual of their enzymatic properties. This is a fermentation, it's in a large scale, but at the same time, the fermentation is one of the beauty of that particular microorganisms. In a long scale, it may work out. It's a good byproduct, good yield it becomes. But any fraction of the movement that particular the levels, temperature, temperature levels, pressure levels, same time, pH levels, it may change. Not at all takes place. Fermentation is a term of used in a microbiologist describes by the process for the production of product by means of the mass culture of microorganisms. It is through by released by the particular corresponding enzyme is releases the particular the mass product, the mass culture of the corresponding microorganisms. Then only it's a possible a metabolic process is in a metabolic process. In a metabolic process of both addition and diversion. These both. This process leads to production of chemical changes in organic substrate through an action of enzymes. The fermentation and product is in a the product can be made by the cell itself. This is referred to as in a biomass production. The microorganisms is in own metabolites. Microorganisms have own metabolites referred to as in a product for a natural or in genetically improved the particular state. It's very gentlest sensitive substance. Microorganisms in a foreign products is referred to as a product of recommended of nuclease, yeah, containing of the DNA. This particular recombinant technology of DNA is used in this particular stain is in recombination. The recombination of nucleotides, enzymatic reactions or takes place. Yeah, this microbial activity and aerobic, anaerobic. Aerobic activity and anaerobic activities and all these we learn about it shortly. The industrial applications of this particularly enzymes and antibodies in a bulk production of antibiotics too. We learn about next. Okay.